Hello, my name is Mia Vargas, and today I am going to be talking about how the media portrays schizophrenia along with other mental disorders in a way that usually is not 100% accurate. First of all, what is a mental disorder? A mental disorder defines as a wide range of conditions that affect mood, thinking, and behavior. Mental illnesses are actually quite common in the United States. Nearly 1 in 5 U.S. adults live with a mental illness. A study done in 2019 shows an estimate of about 51.5 million in the United States. Mental illnesses include different conditions that vary in a degree of severity, ranging from mild to moderate and even to severe. Now, depending on the mental disorder, the symptoms may vary. For instance, with depression, depending on the type of mental disorder, there is a variety of symptoms that include but are not limited to. So, like for schizophrenia, for behavioral, they have more social isolation, disorganized behavior, aggression, compulsive behavior, and could be hostile and in repetitive moments. And another would be self-harm and lack of restraint. Their moods could vary from being angry to feeling detached from themselves. And for depression, it is a persistent feeling of sadness or a loss of interest into things that brought them a lot of joy at one point. And depression can lead to a range of different behavioral and physical symptoms. This includes changes in sleep pattern, appetite, energy level, concentration, daily behavior, or self-esteem. Depression is also associated with thoughts of suicide. And for anxiety, symptoms include stress out of proportion to the impact of an event, inability to set aside a worry or restlessness. Anxiety could also have physical symptoms, which include a change in sleep pattern or a change in appetite. In TV shows and movies, some false things that are shown are that mental health disorders are all the same and they are all to the extreme. The media often generalizes mental illness and clumps all disorders in the same category. Also, severe mental illness is usually depicted in the media, but the majority of those who experience the mental issue do not experience those extreme symptoms. Another thing that is shown a lot in the media is that those who experience a mental illness never recover. Characters with mental illness in films and TV shows rarely recover, and if they do, it's only temporary, and they often relapse. This creates the belief that there is no hope for those who experience mental illness. In reality, therapy, medication, and support from loved ones can help greatly when recovering from a mental illness. False representation has been in the media for as long as television has been around. Even family-friendly shows that I grew up watching, such as Full House. In the episode, the main character DJ wants to lose weight, and as a result, she starved herself from an episode. Eating disorders are a serious issue that take an extended amount of time to get rid of. It took only a small pep talk from her dad, and poof, it went away. Same thing happened in the show Pretty Little Liars, when Hannah speaks about her eating disorder and how she overcame it quickly on her own, which is not the case most of the time. Again, with false representation, in the movie The Visit, the grandmother is said to suffer with schizophrenia. Somehow her having this mental illness is what leads her to want to brutally murder her grandkids and do demonic and possessed actions. This gives an interpretation that people with mental disorders are crazy and dangerous. Lastly, the show that was discussed in the module 13 Reasons Why gave a false and romanticized view of suicide. Hannah Baker had mental issues, but the show decides to name the actions of bullying as a reason to her suicide. Not only that, but it shows suicide as a revenge, so Hannah could get back at the people who hurt her. The show leaves false impression that suicide is an event with a cause. If the show had real intentions to start an impactful conversation about mental illness, it would focus on less external challenges that would happen to anyone, and more on the internal effects of mental illness and ways to get help, and not as a way to seek revenge. Studies consistently show that both entertainment and news media provide overwhelming, dramatic, and distorted image of mental illnesses. They emphasize the dangerous, criminal, and unpredictability. They also model negative reactions to the mentally ill, including fear, rejection, The media having a bad image on social media is actually pretty harmful. It discourages people from getting the help they need and makes recovery more difficult because people feel less confident and think they're going to be marked as crazy if they do have a mental illness. So this also leads to isolation and fear. Discussed in this class was the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. This show shows that mental illness does not define the person and they could actually live a normal life. The director of the show says she has a core fear of being crazy or feeling crazy because she has moments of her life where she feels untethered, and a lot of the time when she hears the word crazy or someone else say the word crazy, her instinct is to say, that's not a fair term, that's not a real term, which is true. Overall, it is important for the media to give an accurate presentation on mental health and mental illnesses because it encourages others to get